Her name is Lexie Russell. She's from Mississippi, and she has really been experiencing a lot of cool things in the last 3 months that she's joined as a consultant. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. And here she is. Everyone say hello to Lexie.
Hi.
Oh, we are just so excited to have you here. So I start all these interviews out pretty much the same way, and that is just tell us a little bit about you and who you are.
Gotcha. Thank you, Joy. So like Joy said, my name is Lexie Russell. I am from Mississippi. My husband and I live in Corinth, a small little town. And a little bit about myself, I am a full-time speech therapist. So I work with the pediatric population in managing speech and language disorders and feeding disorders. So that's a lot of what I do, a lot of what the passion I have is for my kiddos and how I can help them. Like I said, I'm married to Ben Russell, and we have 3 dogs and no children. Let's see. That's pretty much the gist of it. That's life. My husband.
I love it.
You know, there he is right there.
Hi, Ben.
Yeah. He loves Norwex. He is in a lot of my examples in the demonstrations that I do. A lot of testimonies come from him.
I love it. That's so cool. It's it's kind of funny because my husband was kind of like, yeah, Norwex, whatever, when I first was, bringing it home and using it. But the mop is what sold him, because we used to have marble floors in the home that we lived in before, and nothing would get them clean. I mean, even down on our hands and knees, there was
Right.
always like some sort of residue or dirt or whatever. And then we got the mop system and our floors were clean for the first time. And he's just like, okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
So, it's good. Then he was on board. I'm like, yes, I love it.
Definitely.
So, well, fantastic. Thank you for sharing a little bit about you and what you do. So this is a part-time thing for you as a consultant, yes?
Definitely, yes.
Okay. But tell us a little bit about how you were introduced to Norwex, when that was, and kind of what happened from there.
Okay, yeah. So back in September of last year, I attended my first Norwex party. So my friend at work, she'd been talking, for a couple weeks. Hey, I'm hosting this party at my house. It's a really awesome line of cleaning stuff. You clean with mostly water and that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll go to support her. Probably not going to buy anything. My husband and I try to be super frugal with money. And so I was like, I'll just go to support her. She said that if so many people come, then it's better for her as a host. And I was like, well, I'll just support her. And so I went in very close-minded, really I basically pulled in the driveway and was like, yep, I'm not buying anything. I'm just going to go enjoy some refreshments and some fellowship with friends. So that's basically my mindset going into the introduction of Norwex. And I, sat through the party and was literally amazed just by how we got to feel the products. With these online parties, we don't get to actually touch. So I touched the pillowcases and I was like, oh my goodness, I need these. My husband has bad allergies. His pillow is brown when it's supposed to be white. I need these. And so that's kind of my introduction to Norwex. It was back in September, and I left and I called my husband and I was like, Ben, we have got to buy this stuff. You don't understand how we are not cleaning. What we do at home to clean is so ineffective. And it's really bad for us. Did you know paper towels have formaldehyde in them? Did you know laundry detergents, some of them have fillers that are things like animal fat, just mind blown at the chemical side of things and how harmful things in our environment, in our home, not just our environment, but our home, are so bad for us. So I just left eyes wide open, completely engaged to like making a life change, not only with like the chemicals that we have in our home or like getting rid of those, but also what we put in our bodies in terms of food. So it was kind of like back when I learned about Norwex, I also was learning of the things that are in our food. So it was like an overall lifestyle change of like ridding ourselves of like, you know, highly processed things like that. So it was just an overall like reset from a food standpoint, and then also from a like chemical standpoint in our home kind of thing. So that was back in September when I first learned of Norwex. Ben let me get the Just Add, I say let me get, right? We talked it over and he agreed to let me spend the money to get the Just Add water package. Changed our entire home. Like we were sold on it. And so I took from there, that introduction of Norwex, I took some of it to the clinic where I work and do feeding therapy because we were using Clorox wipes to wipe the surface of our feeding table.
It's okay. We've all been there.
I know. I was like, okay, here's number one rule for my other feeding therapist that works with me. No Lysol, no Clorox on the feeding table that we eat off of. So anyway, that's kind of the introduction. And then it just kind of overflowed into the rest of our life. So my clinic work, and then our home, that kind of thing. So that was my introduction.
That's so awesome. And I love how you really took it as it is a lifestyle change. You know, that Norwex has so many solutions, but it just is part of anybody's health and wellness journey.
Right.
It just kind of goes hand in hand with that, which is really, really cool. So you were introduced in September, but you didn't join until the end of January. So obviously there were some things going on in those few months. What was happening in those few months from the time you started using Norwex to the time you said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and join as a consultant?
Right. Good question. So my full-time job, right, as a speech therapist, I see about 44 kiddos per week. Now, granted, yeah, it's a lot. But before the, you know, the virus, things like that, I was very much working a ton at the clinic. And so for me, in my mind, I just thought, you know, it's not really something that I want to do or want to take on. I don't think I have time for it, was really my mindset. As far as becoming a consultant, spending that time, you know, basically managing a business. But the way it was put to me is that you can do it in 3 different kind of options. You can do very part-time, you can do part-time, you can do full-time. It's totally up to you. And I think that was kind of in the back of my mind throughout that time of, you know, between September and January. I just kind of prayed about it and really like sought the Lord on, you know, how can I add this into my schedule without taking away from my kids and the work that we do at the clinic. So I kind of just pondered on it for a while, prayed about it, and really just waited for, I guess, per se, the right time when I felt that it was going to be manageable to add into my schedule.
That's great. You know, and you were talking about it, you were sharing it. So
right. And that too. Yes, definitely. So the time I got my Just Add water package in, and I shot April the photo. I took a selfie with it and I was like, look what I got. And so from that time until January, I was definitely telling any and everyone, you know, have you guys ever heard of Norwex? Because I had not, never had I ever heard of it before September. And so between September and, you know, end of December, I was sharing, you know, I was like, have you used, like, take my paste, try this, you know, try this. Like I was already doing like, lending out samples. Have you tried this detergent? It literally cleans bins, dry fit shirts, and they don't stink, you know, even after they're washed. They typically always smell bad. It's like, have y'all tried this? So I was literally, giving out samples and sharing anyways between September and end of December before I joined. So that's what I was doing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you joined at the end of January. You started off really strong with in-home parties, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So
Yes.
then you had to quickly make that transition to Facebook parties. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing, as you compare the impact you were making with an in-home party and then now what you're doing with Facebook parties. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So the in-home parties, I had my launch party here at the house where I had about probably 10 to 12 people come. And, that was for me a pretty big crowd at first. And so the in-home parties, I had several bookings after that. Even like my sister-in-law in Tupelo. So I had some family that hosted a party, but also some that, I wasn't expecting. They were like, yeah, I would love to host a party to get free stuff. And even as random as my, I do a gym class Monday and Thursday, and my trainer was like, you could do a party after our gym class on one of the nights. So like just people were reaching out to help me share and share the mission of, Norwex and what, I guess they felt my passion about it and really like, they were like, yeah, let's let her share. So those were the in-home parties. In gym parties, whatever they were, they were super fun, and I loved them. I loved the interaction. I loved just sharing about the products and answering questions and seeing their reaction to even wiping their hands with an EnviroCloth. Guys, that in and of itself, I mean, it was like, wow, my hands are clean. Or using the optic scarf for their glasses in the party, and they're like, wow, like this stuff actually works, just in home. But making that transition shortly after, I loved my in-home parties. I was really like, getting momentum and, really enjoying like seeing people and sharing the mission. And I should preface this with the fact that I have not hardly used Facebook in the last 3 years at all. Just really off social media kind of stuff. And so doing Facebook parties, I almost was like, you know what? Nope, I don't think I can do it, because I had not been used to like the interface of Facebook and how things work. How do you go live? I have no idea. How do you, make something shareable? Or, I hadn't been on it in so long that I almost was like, no, I'll just wait until all this is over. But then that halted, me sharing the mission of Norway.
Oh, you've frozen on us. Let's hopefully see that we get her back. We'll see what happens.
To
there we go.
Figure out going live and posting stuff and things like that is a very big challenge versus the in-home parties where they're super personable. So that's the transition from in-home party to Facebook for me. Kind of difficult at first, but just learning and I guess sort of making it as if you're in their home, but you're virtual. So that's kind of my experience with that.
Well, I'm glad that you went for it, that you were like, oh, I don't know if I know how to do this, but I'm still going to do it anyway. I think that's, that's kind of what we have to do a lot of times. We just have to jump in and we have to figure it out. We have to learn, and it can be really exciting and fun. So that's cool. So I want to find out
Joy,
about.
I think we lost you.
Oh, I'm still talking, but you maybe can't hear me.
Oh, wait, just a second.
Okay. I know you had frozen up just a little bit ago. So
okay. Let's
so
see.
I want to hear about how much free stuff you have earned since you joined as a consultant.
Oh, an unrealistic amount. So one of my favorite phrases I say to my host and to anyone consider joining, not just joining as a consultant, but my host, I'm like, Norwex is so generous, right? Like they're, I can't, I mean, hundreds, probably even thousands of dollars of free stuff just by like when you hit your fresh starts and then like those steps. And then, I didn't realize I think it's $1,500 in sales, you get it's about $80 ish in free product per month. So that, I mean, I just, tons of free stuff, like my shampoo and conditioner. What else? There's so much stuff that I've gotten to just try for free.
Yeah, that's
because
awesome.
of how generous Norwex is. So tons of free stuff.
Yes, that's so cool. I love it. So tell me about how Norwex has blessed your family.
Gotcha. So as far as like joining Norwex for financial gain, that was not my plan at all. Actually, I didn't even consider, which may sound just absolutely absurd, but I really didn't consider the financial impact it would have. I just thought, here's my mindset. Okay, if I'm telling people about it now, then I might as well join. I know I'm going to earn free stuff. I can share share the mission with people. And, if I make a little money, that's great. That's grand. But what I did not realize, and generally speech therapists are terrible with math, so it makes perfect sense. I didn't realize that 35% of sales is a really, really good amount. And so, once I started my parties and generating my customer base and, sales, I was like, oh my word, like it's been a huge blessing. My husband and I both have student loans we're attempting to pay off. So it's been a financial blessing as far as just the 35% that I thought in the back of my mind, like, well, that's just, that's chump change. Like, that's great. I did not consider that at all, but it has been a huge blessing financially. And like you had asked about me being part-time, like it's, it's really a really, really good opportunity and blessing as far as how much 35% is.
It can add up quickly, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Especially if you're doing those multi-host parties and stuff on Facebook that we've been learning how to do as a team. So that's really cool. And any other like benefits that you've noticed or health benefits or anything that you've noticed since you've joined as a Norwex consultant?
Definitely. I told you guys my husband is a lot of my testimonies of the products that we have around our home. And that's because he has severe allergies, like year round, basically lives with an allergy infection. They exacerbate at times or they get worse at times. And he'll, go to the doctor and, maybe get like a steroid shot or something like that, and to kind of boost the infection out. But so that was about, he probably would go every month, sometimes twice a month, whenever the allergy infections were worse. But since using Norwex, our home is so much cleaner. So from a health benefit standpoint, Norwex has tremendously helped our health in terms of my husband's allergies, but also just knowing that we're not, exposing ourselves to the harmful chemicals that will have effect, more long-term effect, cancer, things like that. So from a health benefit, by far Norwex has tremendously helped with my husband's allergies and just overall our health and things like that.
Wow. Wow. That's so exciting. And I can totally relate to that because I used to suffer from severe indoor and outdoor allergies, and Norwex was a game changer for me.
Definitely.
And so I know how important it is for us to be using products that don't hurt ourselves inside our home, and allowing our bodies to heal and our immune systems to work properly. So Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much, Lexie, for sharing with us, sharing from your heart and your experience as a brand new Norwex consultant. I'm so excited for all that God has planned for you and the journey ahead for you, and the impact that you're going to be making. And aren't you so glad that your friend had a Norwex party and introduced you to the products?
I know. I tell Katie, thank you all the time. I'm like, you literally don't know how, just your, I guess, excitement about, what Norwex had done for you, how it changed my life. So I am very thankful for her having
Hmm.
that party and just how it opened up the world, the world of Norwex in my life. So yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
That's right. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Again, my website is cleanbyjoy.com. And thanks again, Lexie, and I hope everybody just has a very blessed day.
Thank you, Joy.